Right, so we'll say this: the Penguin was fantastic, and now the question is, how does it work with Batman 2? This is a very important question, and one we did already one video on, in which we talked about how we don't want this to be something that is required viewing for people that are going to go see Batman 2. And so IGN did an article talking about this, and here's one section, I think the most important section, and we're going to read it. How the Penguin sets up Matt Reeves' The Batman sequel. The Penguin doesn't necessarily end in a shocking or unexpected place for Farrell's character. We knew based on the ending of The Batman that Oz had ambitions to rise above his station and take Carmine Falcone's place atop the underworld. The Penguin shows us how he accomplishes that goal and the terrible toll it takes on him and those around him. We'll definitely see Oz again in Batman 2, where he'll now be calling the shots rather than serving other masters. In that sense, the Penguin isn't necessarily required viewing for those following the movies. All you really need to know is that the final shot of Oz in the Batman to understand how he gets to where he'll be in the sequel. But this series exists for anyone who wants to know exactly how Oz's rise to power came about. That's not to say the Penguin doesn't lay the foundation for Reeves' next movie. The impact of this Gotham underworld shakeup will surely reverberate out to the effect the Batman epic crime saga. The Batman will have to confront the fact that he wasn't there to deal with a new threat emerging in Gotham. He dismissed Oswald Cobb as a mere lackey of Carmine Falcone, never suspecting that Oz had what it took to become the new Falcone. In his 2 years on the job, it doesn't seem that Batman has made much, if any, headway in dismantling the mob. At some point, he'll have to reevaluate his methods and realize that pummeling low level street criminals every night is only going to get him so far. There's also the fact that the Penguin represents the evolving face of crime in Gotham City. The balance of power is shifting from the old guard, men like Carmine Falcone and Sal Maroni, to a newer generation of psychopathic supercriminals. There's going to come a point where the Gotham underworld is taken over by costume villains like Joker, Two Face, and whatever other Bat rogues Reeves chooses to introduce. The Penguin becoming Gotham's new crime lord is the tipping point that ushers in a darker era for Gotham City. There's a reason Reeves chose to set his Batman story at this point in the Dark Knight's career. We can also see the new drug Bliss making a return in the Batman 2. Oz's underground drug lab may have been destroyed, but assuming he can connect with Sophia's supplier, it may be only a matter of time before the city streets are flooded with this psychedelic euphoric substance again. We could easily see the next movie including a subplot where Batman attempts to get Bliss off the streets and comes into conflict with Penguin again. And finally, there's still a lingering question of where Batman has been during all this chaos and bloodshed. Why has he been MIA in the weeks following Riddler's attack? Why didn't he do anything to stop this bloody gang war? The Penguin never answers that question, but it does seem to tee up the next movie to address it. We suspect that Batman 2 will deal with Bruce returning to his city after his mysterious absence, forced to confront the fact that things have only gotten worse since he left. All right, so that's a pretty long part of the article, but you can go read the whole thing. So, you know, I love everything that they put in there because that is exactly what this should be. The Penguin does a great job of allowing you to understand, okay, this is what the city's like, this is who the characters are, and just diving deep into the Penguin. He may end up being, and he kind of was in the first one. He's not the main enemy in the first one. He is a side plot in the main one, right? In the first movie, and then they're able to just deliver with this 8 episode, just fantastic series. And now the Penguin is someone who you really care about, and so for people like that, for people like me that wanted to watch it and figure out this is perfect because you can watch it, you get to know so much more. But the point this article is making too is that it's also an easy explanation. You literally can just explain this is what happened in 5 seconds in Batman 2, and you get enough information to not have had to watch these to be able to watch Batman 2. And that's key because if you need people to watch Batman 1 and you need them to watch basically all 8 of these episodes to understand what happens in the second one, that just doesn't, it's just not, I don't think it's good for the movie. I think it becomes something that, okay, I have to watch too much and catch up on too much to kind of, make this work. So this is all good news. And the bottom line is the way that they've set this story up I don't know what the future is for this Batman series. I know there's a Batman 2. Don't know if there's going to be ones after that. Put in the comments if you know. I haven't read anything that said there's going to be anything past 2. But we're set up now in this series to basically have a million different enemies that Batman can be fighting. You could, all the ones we remember, the Penguin, Sophia Falcone. There are just so many different people that Batman can be going up against, and it's certainly going to be interesting. And with Sophia Falcone still alive and not dead, the fact that she's in jail means that once Batman's back, I'm sure that's going to be some semblance of a subplot, if not in this one, in the next one. Because she is the one person, I think, that really is going to pose a threat to the Penguin from the, kind of underworld side.